for a little bit. I've been traveling a lot. I was just in Kuala Lumpur Malaysia, where we had 700 crazy participants in a training called Guerrilla Business Intensive. That was super fun. And if you were there, welcome. Don Baker, welcome from Sonoma. Got it. Charisse, welcome from Baltimore, Maryland. I know where that is. And Tim from Bangkok, welcome. And let's see. They just keep coming in, boy. Ahuva and Natasha, welcome from Mount Shasta. Thomas, of course, from Las Vegas, Nevada. Today is all about conversion. And, you know, when people come to me, and they never come to me when things are good, you know, consulting clients. They come to me when things are bad. There's always a problem. They're either on their final, you know, $5,000 in their bank account or working capital, or they are on the brink of a divorce because the business hasn't been going well, or employees are leaving them. There's always a predicament or a problem. They never come to me saying, hey, Alex, business is booming. Can we go a little faster, or can we accelerate the growth? I never get that. Sometimes I do, but not often. I usually get, I'm knee-deep in debt. I can't see a way out. What am I supposed to do? Like, as if I'm like this marketing medicine man or something, or this, you know, I don't know, this marketing Buddha of some kind. Like I'm this omniscient marketer who's going to know exactly what to do. I'm not really. And what I do know with almost absolute certainty is they don't have a problem other than conversion. They have a conversion problem. What's conversion? Well, conversion is movement. It's movement from someone who's seeing or hearing about you to actually clicking to learn more about you. It's from someone who just clicked to learn more about you to someone who wants to opt in and learn even more about you. And as someone who just learned more about you as a prospect wants to buy something from you and actually give you a piece of their freedom, their money out of their wallet. And it's someone who's given you a piece of their freedom, their wallet, the first time, into doing it again and again and again, which is called a multi-buyer. Those are conversions. And generally, you don't have any type of problem in business other than a conversion problem. So I thought, what a great topic to discuss today. We're nearly in the middle of the year. It's time to boost your conversions, and the fastest and easiest way to boost them is to first understand them. So, Leah, welcome from Toronto. Julie, welcome from the Philippines. Kenneth says, you don't work magic? I do work magic sometimes, but not always, because there's always some kind of trapdoor that's hiding the real root problem to the marketing issue. From Vietnam, welcome. Mohammed, welcome from Malaysia. You guys are doing awesome. Thank you, everybody. If you come into our MVP group, which is marketingonline.com/MVP group, it's our Master Virtual Presenter Facebook group. Welcome. You are welcome here, and we do this every single Friday. And the reason we do it is it's a public service. So what happens in about 10 minutes, I'm looking at the clock up there, I'm going to do a countdown. I'll say 3, 2, 1. And the reason I do that is that will be the formal presentation that I'm showing you. Now, when I post this on YouTube or bits and pieces of on LinkedIn and Twitter, Facebook, etc., all the other social media channels, Web 2.0 channels, they won't see this. This is called the green room. This is the video before we start. They will see the formal 30 minutes of it, which you're going to see as well. And the reason I do that is because the people who see the recording don't get to ask questions like you will at the end of my 30-minute presentation, which will be about 45 minutes after the hour. So you can come in here and ask me any questions about conversion. That makes it kind of like a group mentoring session. Many people are shy. They don't come in. If you do come in, remember to mute the browser that is playing the video, because you're outside of this Hangout right now. When you come in, you're actually in two Hangouts, inside and outside. So if the outside one, the speakers are on, then you're going to hear a echo and a recording because there's a time delay between the two. I will remind you in about half an hour so that that doesn't happen. It happens often, and once it happens, you'll notice it. But welcome everyone, whether you have business experience or not. Conversion is the big problem in every facet of life. Honestly, conversion. Childbirth is a conversion, isn't it? It's a transformation from a seed to a root, right? That's a conversion. An apple seed to an apple root, that's a conversion. So conversion is another way of saying transformation, let's say in the spiritual space or world, right? And the reason we use conversion is there's movement. Albert Einstein said, nothing happens until something moves, which is true. So that's how I'm going to start this session. I'm going to say nothing happens until something moves. My name is Alex Mondosian, and welcome. That's the way to start a hangout like this. So while you're still here, please introduce yourself wherever it is that you are hanging out from. I enjoy calling you guys out. And Crystal, welcome from Clovis. Megan, again, welcome. Megan, how are you? Welcome. You guys are awesome. Thank you for joining us. Boy, Marilyn from Springfield again, thank you for joining us. Jackie, welcome. Leah, welcome. Thomas, all you guys are saying hi to each other. So we got a lot of people here, and this is what we do every single week. Okay, now, no product, no business, nothing. That means no bad habits. So that's what we want. Okay, now if you do have a product, if you do have an existing business, you may have some bad habits that you have to undo and unmake. And sometimes you're attached to that. So what I'm looking for is high intention, low attachment. Many of you have heard that. Marcel, welcome from Manila. Vivian from Sussex, United Kingdom, welcome. Boy, these guys are going nuts. Let me show you Sue. Now, we're a porn. Hi, how are you? That's a good name. Sue, you're on the big screen. Where are you hanging from, Sue?
I am hanging out in my home office in Vernon, BC, Canada.
Awesome. And Kenneth just asked to join the Facebook group, so can you allow him in? We're having a lot of requests there.
Yeah, for sure. I'll put the link in again, and I've already had people join from here, and I'm already approving them. I'm back and forth. So.
Yeah, we're going back and forth to approve. Now, there's really 3 logs that are happening. There's a monologue, which is me and you. There's a dialogue, which is you and me. And then there's a trialogue, which is you and you. Okay, time out. Let me repeat that again. There's a monologue, that's me to you, one-to-one, or one-to-many. There's a dialogue where you're responding to me. Hi, it's Justina from Krakow, Poland, right? It's Jackie. It's Greg Sneed from Detroit, Michigan, right? That's a dialogue. And then there's a trialogue. And a trialogue, I believe, is I've created a community, that's you, and you're trialoguing with each other. So when Sue says, gotcha, Kenneth, or when Jeff is saying, hi, Jeff from Thailand, welcome. If Justina's saying, hi, Jackie, Justina is trialoguing with Jackie because it's my hangout, but you guys are, and gals are interacting with each other. So that's the trialogue which you want to create. When you see that, you know you have magic. It doesn't matter if you're in a network marketing company, if you're a service professional in any business that you're in, whether you're in business to consumer, that's B2C, or business to business, that's business B2B, or business to government, B2G. Doesn't matter what type of business you're in, creating a trialogue with your tribe is super important. And I see it happening. And the fact that I'm calling it out, like I'm saying, hey, there's a trialogue happening. Jackie says, hi, Greg. And Kenneth says, thank you, Sue. So that's trialoguing. You guys are going crazy. I love it. And as we're talking, more and more people are coming on live. So, Sue, for those who are here for the first time, why don't you give them a little background? We're 2016 right now. The bottom line, okay, so Jerry says, haven't tuned in for a while. Good to see you. How about an index card? Okay, That's okay, smart Alec. Okay, here we go. Here's the first index card, but I haven't started yet. So I have a bunch of them here, and they're going to start soon. I love it. All right. So you see, that's called a dialogue, and now you're probably going to trilogue. But Sue, let's talk about how we've evolved here. Since you've come on, you've seen a lot of changes, a lot more people come on. You see a lot more triloguing going on, right? Go ahead and speak
Oh,
into the camera.
okay. Of course I will.
Hey.
I think the biggest thing for us has been the combination of the live hangouts with the Facebook groups, because that really gets the engagement going. So when we're here on the Hangout, originally we weren't using Webinar Jam, we were using Google Hangouts, and people would just comment on that page. When I say, I mean we were just using Google Plus, like the Google Plus event page. And that, people just, they'd say hi, but nobody really ever talked to each other. So I think the real evolving has been bringing in Webinar Jam Studio and then getting people from here, they're watching the live show, and then we always invite them to the Facebook groups. They end up over there, and the interaction just continues. So it starts here on the Hangout, but then it continues over on Facebook, and that's really gotten people to know each other and to be, creating partnerships and working together. It's been awesome actually to see the evolution of that.
Yeah, and we're going to start now, and those of you just coming on, you're adding to the trialogue. So that's what we want. So the Facebook group, again, Sue has typed it in. It's marketingonline.com/MVP group. We are adding people on live as we go. Stay tuned, because about 45 minutes into this Hangout, I'm going to be giving out a link for a free PDF version. This is the $10 version at a discount. This is a soft cover. It's called Alexisms, and it's designed for you not only to read, but to take notes. There's 140 Alexisms, and it's a book. It took me 25 years to research. It took me 25 hours to write and publish, and it'll take you 25 minutes to read. At least Carol, my mother, told me it took her about 25 minutes, and she even took some notes. Can you believe that? So you can purchase it on Amazon if you want, or you can get it for free, and you can download it. I'll give you the link at the near the end of this Google Hangout. Now, time out. What did I just do? For all of you who want to become master virtual presenters, you always want to have a giveaway, an ethical bribe. We call it a hold, something to hold people on the Hangout, on the podcast, on anything that you have that is an appointment-based presentation like this. We have an appointment and you're here. So if you wait until the end, you're going to get something valuable for free. And so you always want to have something like that and announce it at the beginning. Does that make sense? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the formal presentation. Now imagine you have a video editor, whom I do, and he's going to cut everything up to this point and everything when I end it. And then after I end it, we'll still be live here, and you can do questions. You can come into this Hangout and ask me questions, and we'll go for another 15 minutes. So actually it's 1 hour, but in the middle, between 15 minutes and 45 minutes, we have a 30-minute presentation, which is the formal presentation, which is what I repurpose, and that's what allows me to get massive exposure and expanded reach, which is what I teach to my high-end clients who pay $100,000, $30,000, $12,000. Those are our price points now. So there's a few at 25. You know who you are. You kind of snuck in there. But that's what we teach, how to get mass exposure. And we do have a few surveys that I'm going to be asking you throughout. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hit it. Nothing happens until something moves. Albert Einstein once said that. My name is Alex Mondosian, and movement is life. It's living for everyday life that we are in. Something stops moving, it's no longer living in most cases. And in business, unless your business is moving down or up, it has no life. Would you agree? Now, the goal here is to go up. And when people come to me for consulting work or mentoring work or just one-to-one coaching, they think they have a lead generation problem. They think they have a culture problem with their employees. They think they have a funnel marketing problem. But ultimately, at the root, the root cause of all of their problems is a conversion problem. And so what is conversion? Well, in the spiritual space, conversion is really called transformation. When a seed, let's say an apple seed, flops into the root of an apple tree, that's a conversion. When an acorn flops into the root of a giant oak tree, that's a conversion. And anything converting is magnified and expands many, many times through cause and effect, right? It's almost a law of karma. So something starts small, right? Just like when you began, like a swimmer, right? And you were fertilized in an egg. Your father released you, your mother received you. Well, you were multiplying many, many times your size, and you converted, into a human being. So conversion is natural, not just in personal life, but in professional life. So every problem that a business has is a conversion problem. So what is conversion? Why don't we define that? That's the question of the head, right? Okay, what is conversion? Well, you got to look at the 4 different aspects of the types of people who approach you. Your target audience, your market, your niche or niche. If you're in America, it's a niche. If you're overseas, it's niche. Get riche in your niche. There's really 4 types of people you're after: a suspect, a prospect, a buyer, or a multi-buyer. Now, these things can be called different things. For example, a buyer can be called a customer, a student, a member, a client, right? A patient. I'm going to call them a buyer because that's a catch-all term. And a multi-buyer, that could be called a raving fan, an evangelist. I've called it a multi-buyer. It just means more than one. Prospect could be called lead. Suspect to me has always been called suspect. So let's talk about what's a suspect. Okay, a suspect is someone who is super cold. Okay, they are about to click something, and they click something, or they turn a page and are reading something. They're beginning to get engaged, but they haven't taken action. They haven't given you control of communicating with them. The only communication you have is your initial ad. It could be a Facebook ad, a magazine ad, a TV ad, a radio ad. It could be an email going out, okay, on behalf of someone else, like a JV email. But a suspect is someone who is cold, okay? Now, cold means you got to talk to that person a little differently than someone who's a multi-buyer who's super warm. So you convert this person differently than you would convert a prospect buyer or multi-buyer. Are you with me? That's key, because that's one of the big problems that people have is they have the same conversion dialogue or conversation with all 4 different levels of sub-markets that they're dealing with, right? So at one time, your best customer was once a suspect at some time, just like at one time in your life, your best friend today, who's not a family member, your best friend was once a stranger. So a suspect is a stranger, and to get them to click, which is what I like, online, or turn the page, or read, or open the letter, right? Then they have a chance to be converted into a prospect. So suspect to prospect is the first conversion. Once they are converted into a prospect, now you have more control, and now you can take their agenda and really start communicating with them. Now, can they become a suspect again? Of course, they can opt out, or they can ask to be removed from your list. But the goal is to keep them a prospect, and now they're warmer, right? They're warm. They're no longer cold. They're warm, and you want to turn them into hot. So warm to hot, that conversion, prospect to buyer, is lead to sale, right? And when you get a sale, your goal is not to keep converting more suspects to prospects to buyers. Many people go to complete strangers and try that method, and they forget people who've bought once. Your objective, once you get the first-time buyer, which is what a buyer is called, again, it could be a customer, a client, you can call it a sale, a member, a student, whatever you call them, right? A patron. This is your first-time buyer. That person is not activated in your company. You don't let go of that person as far as, you want to keep 100% full court press on them until they buy a second time. Not an upsell, but they buy through a second transaction, and that's what makes them a multi-buyer. Let me redefine the purpose of business. The purpose of your business is to create multi-buyers. So you are transforming them from suspects to prospects to buyers to multi-buyers. Now, some people come in straight from suspect to buyer. It's impossible to come straight to a multi-buyer by definition. They got to buy the first time. So how do you talk to these people? Well, that's what we're going to talk about, in this session, now that you know what conversion is. Next, why is conversion important? Well, if you don't focus on conversion, then you're really missing out on how your company's working. I'll give you an example. You can measure in an online business, marketing online. By definition, we market online, right? It's on my car. I have a BMW convertible, and the glass that comes up, even when the top is down, right? It says marketingonline.com. And I have people, walk up to me and say, hey, what do you do? And I love that question, right? Well, with marketingonline.com, our suspects are the number of clicks we get. So if we get 10,000 clicks a week, that's how many suspects we have that week. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Now, prospects, those are the people that we have opting in. Now, if we got 10,000 clicks and 2,000 decided to opt in and give us their email address, then we have 2,000 new prospects. So we have 10,000 clicks. Those are 10,000 suspects. And your numbers may vary. You may have 10 clicks, right, and 2 prospects. I'm just giving you numbers, so you see the way the percentages work. So out of 10,000 clicks, suspects, you got 2,000 prospects. Those are new leads for the week, right? And then over time, as you warm them up, think of it as like boiling water, because once you get to 100 degrees Celsius, which is the boiling point, or 212 Fahrenheit, which is the boiling point, then water changes its consistency to steam, right? From 211 to 212 Fahrenheit, you go from boiling water to steam. That's what you want. That's where you have a conversion, a transformation. Now, you also have a transformation to ice, right? Ice, then liquid water, then steam. Okay, now you can't drive a locomotive or a boat with ice or water, but you can with steam. So you're going after steam. Does that metaphor make sense? That's a good analogy, right? So what you want to do is you want to get to the steam level and transform them from prospect to buyer. So let's say if you got 10,000 clicks, that's suspects, 2,000 prospects, okay? That's opt-ins. Let's say you get 200 buyers, right? Which is good. It's probably a low-priced item. That's a conversion, right? And out of the 200 buyers, 20 of them became multi-buyers. They bought again and again and again. What you want to do is you want to find more of those low 20, the multi-buyers. You want to duplicate them. You want to get referrals from them. That's what you want to duplicate in your business. Because if all you have is multi-buyers, then you have gone to heaven without the inconvenience of dying. So that's why conversion is important. Now, do you measure how many suspects you have? If you're in network marketing and you know who you are, you may be in Taiwan, let's say. Do you measure how many suspects you got last week in your downline? Do you have your downline report that to you? Maybe you should. Do you know how many prospects you got where you can actually communicate with them and you control that? Do you know how many new customers you got, both with the product and for the opportunity? And then how many people have bought more than once, the second month, or repurchased as an opportunity seeker? See, if you don't measure those 4 things, then you don't know how healthy your company is. That's why a conversion is so important, because if you have very few suspects, how can you have more prospects? So it's all starting at the root level, at the suspect level. If you don't have a lot of those, how do you get a lot of prospects? And if you don't have a lot of prospects, how do you have a lot of buyers? And if you don't have a lot of buyers, you don't have any multi-buyers. If the goal of a business, and you buy what I'm saying, no pun intended, if you buy into that multi-buyers is the key to business, then you need lots of clicks, lots of suspects, lots of people turning pages and reading your ad, depending on what type of business you're in. Lots of people coming into your store and window shopping, that's a suspect. They haven't opted in yet. They haven't put their business card in the fishbowl, but they've come in to observe. That's a click, okay? So what are the 4 conversion opportunities you're faced with every single day? Only one of them work. Here they are. Number 1, you have the right message to the right market. Okay, so imagine that you own a hamburger stand, right? And you're looking for people who are starving for hamburgers, okay? So you have the right message, and you find hamburger eaters. Let's say you own a gourmet hamburger stand, so you look for people who normally go to McDonald's and Burger King, right? Boom. You got the right market and you have the right message. So right message, right market, that is one of the 4 conversion opportunities, and that's the only one that works. So if there's 4 of them, that means you have a 75% chance of losing, which is why I want to call this to your attention. The second opportunity, if I turn the card the right way, is wrong message. that was wrong side. Wrong message to the right market. Okay, what is wrong message to the right market? Well, let's say I'm in the hamburger stand business. I have a vegetarian or vegan menu to starving hamburger eaters, right? Wrong message. I'm supposed to be selling hamburgers, but I have a vegetarian menu. Many of you people do that. Many of you do that, even though you don't realize it. You're going to the right market, but you're giving the wrong message, right? So right market means, hey, yeah, they do eat hamburgers, but you're offering them vegetarian or exclusively vegan or macrobiotic meals. Not going to always work. Will some of them eat? Oh, yeah, they would, but there's a mismatch between message and market. And then the third opportunity is right message, wrong market. Okay, what is that? That's like having a hamburger menu, if you own a hamburger stand, and you only are looking for starving vegetarians. Okay, they're not going to say yes to you. They don't eat meat. So right message, you're having a hamburger menu because you sell hamburgers, luscious, top grade, Kobe beef, whatever you want to call it. The bun is fresh, fresh baked bun with fresh garden lettuce, organically grown with tomatoes and onions. Yum. Just the ketchup is oozing down the side. Mustard, for you mustard eaters, are you getting hungry? Okay. Well, since you don't eat meat, no matter, because wrong market means you're a vegetarian, no good, okay? And then this is my favorite one. Now, if you're part of this, then you got a lot of work to do. Wrong message to wrong market. You're offering the wrong value proposition to the wrong market, right? So you're in the hamburger business and you're offering hardware, hammers and nails to vegetarians, all right? You're wrong on both cases. So that's not the way to play. Are you with me? So now we're defining, where you're at. Let's take a look at a survey. We're going to put a survey up. Which of the, what's the first survey, Sue? Because I'm confused. We have 2 of them. Once you come on live, which survey are you going to show?
Okay, I just put it up already. So can you see it?
Okay, which one is it?
Which of these 4 conversion skills do you want to improve most?
Okay, cool. Okay, so if you're on live, if you're watching the recording, we're taking a survey right now. If you're reading this, we're taking a survey. Which of the 4 conversion skills do you want to improve most? Now, the first one is prospects into buyers. That's leads, right, to sales. Suspects into prospects. That's non-leads to prospects. Buyers into multi-buyers. That's getting more buyers to say yes again and again. And then the 4th choice is I don't need to improve any of my conversions, right? So far we have 0% with I don't need to convert or improve any of my conversions. If you ever said that, then you might as well be out of business. Every business is a conversion business. So as this poll is playing out, it's very interesting. It's real time. All of you are responding if you're on live. If you're watching the recording or you're listening to the recording, thank you for your patience because I'm waiting for the final results. And as we get the final results, let me tell you, why is it important to at least identify what type of conversion is most important to you? Is because most people are just unaware of the 4 different aspects of or conversion opportunities, right? I showed you the 4 different types of conversion opportunities. You have suspect, prospect, buyer, multi-buyer. So most people are not even aware of it. So if you're aware of it right here and right now, congratulations, because you've just ascended from the majority of people who just don't know and they're in business. Now, for prospects to buyers, we have 40% of the people. From suspects to prospects, we have 42%. And from buyers to multi-buyers, we have 18%. So I will say that because 82% of the people who have voted on this particular survey is either suspect to prospect or prospect to buyer. You need a lead generation system. You need a system that's automated, and okay, joint ventures is one way, but you need a way to bring cold traffic and warm traffic in so that it becomes hot traffic. Hot meaning audiences, people who know you, who like you, who trust you. So let's look at the 3 conversion traps, and that leads me into this perfectly. The 3 conversion traps are traps that aren't really even traps. They're distinctions of the types of markets that you have. And there are really 3. There's not 2. Some people think there are 2. There's the cold market. Now, these people don't know you. They don't like you. They don't trust you because they don't know you. So those guys are cold. And the reason they're cold is you have to introduce not only yourself to them, but you have to introduce the problem that they're facing. You have to get them to agree that they're facing that problem. You have to get them to agree that you've earned the right and you're a qualified resource to talk about that problem. You know, what has earned the right, ETR, earned you the right to do that. And you also have to create a unique promise, and your unique promise is your product offering as a solution to their problem. Hopefully their problem is urgent. So with the cold market, it takes longer because they don't know you, they don't like you, and they don't trust you, and they got to do all 3 of those things. That's the first designation. So you got to ask yourself, how big is my cold market? Well, a cold market are suspects. No question. Suspects or cold market, and you have millions of people in the cold market to go after. And they represent magazines, they represent organizations and congregations where people are congregating like in a church. People congregate in a church. I bet you in church or synagogue or mosque, people who go to those places on Sundays or Saturdays, they are part of your cold market. They would be interested, at least 1 or 2 of those people, in your offer, right? So if you knew something about that congregation, it doesn't just have to be spiritual. It could be a magazine. It could be someone who listen to a particular song. What about a social media platform like YouTube or Twitter, right? These are congregations of people. My student and now colleague and mentor, actually, Russell Brunson, talks about congregations in his book. And I think it's a very, very good way to talk about tribes. You know, people gather. So there's more suspects than any of the other 2 combined. Now, the other one is called your warm market. Now, when someone gets warmer, they know you and they like you, okay? But they haven't bought from you yet. They know and like you. That means they're a prospect. They're not a buyer. You know, they're warm. Now, the warm is like 211 degrees Fahrenheit, 99 degrees Celsius. We have a lot of people overseas, so I'm going to use both. Hot, which is the final designation, is when they become a buyer and then ultimately a multi-buyer. That's when they become the customer, the patient, the student, the member. That's when they know, like, and trust you. All 3. You got to go 3 for 3. So cold market is they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, so you got to get that rapport going. It's multiple steps. With the warm market, they're on the fringe, but they haven't purchased yet. They're warm, so you can talk to them differently. They're familiar with you. They're familiar with the problem. They're familiar with your product. So you don't have to take as long building rapport, but you got to give them enough information so that now they're convinced on their own terms to buy. Is this making sense? And then the third designation, of course, is the hot market. They bought before, and you want to get them to buy again and again, and that's your back end. And you don't need to make a long proposition to them. In fact, if you make a very long proposition and very involved, they may get annoyed. They may leave because they go, wait a minute, I know you. Why are you pretending like we don't know each other? Just tell me what the deal is, right? It's interesting, right? So at the cold level, you got to go very deep and getting to know them, like them, trust them, and vice versa. With the hot market, you just have to give them what the predicament or problem is that you think they're facing, and then the unique promise that you're offering. They already know you, they already trust you, and it's a matter of just pulling the trigger and saying, yes, I want to go with you. You have to speak to all 3 markets differently. Are you with me? Hopefully that has given you an idea of conversion, right? Cold is ice, warm is water, and hot is steam. I guarantee no one has taught you this before. At least I've never heard it, so I'm hoping that you've heard it for the first time. If you have a big takeaway, in other words, a aha, please type it in, use your keyboard and type it in and let me know so we have a dialogue wherever it is that you're watching this so far, because I've given you maybe a few pack my bag moments where you could just pack your bags and leave because you got what you needed. And then what about the 2 conversion strategies? What are the 2 strategies that people have in converting a suspect to a prospect to a customer or buyer, and a buyer to a multi-buyer? Well, there are only 2 types. There's the one-step program, which is do it now, or there's the multi-step program, which is, okay, go watch this and then decide, or go watch this and then listen to this and then decide, or go read this, then listen to this, then watch this, and then decide. Multi-step, right? Now, what works these days? Well, whether it's a hot, warm, or cold buyer, I have found that the minimum it takes is 2 steps. On Facebook, you don't ever have anyone buy anything on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. They don't buy anything directly. You have to go to a second step and convey your proposition. It could be a webinar, it could be a sales page online, it could be another post, okay? But however many steps you have, it takes more than 1 step. 1 step means you just met someone, will you marry me? No. 1 step means, hey, we've known each other for a while, you haven't bought from me, will you buy from me? No. In other words, you're not even engaged and you're asking for engagement. And let's say you are engaged and you're married. Hey, you mind if I marry somebody else? No. So that is the challenge with 1 step. It does not work in most cases. Now, I can get away with it sometimes. If I have deep rapport, I'll just say stand up and go to the side of the room, or grab your mouse and say yes. In fact, people I have very deep rapport with, I'll say, listen, I want a yes, and then I'm going to tell you what my question is. And they'll say yes, because they know I've thought it through. And they know my reputation is at stake. And that's an unquestionable proposition, right? It's like I'm saying, give me the yes, and then I'll tell you what I'm wanting you to invest in. And it takes deep, deep trust to do that. But, when I've done that, it's always worked because I know I can get it. And, count the number of people that you can do that with when you have that unquestionable yes from people, right? So anyway, it's an uncompromised yes. They'll say yes because they know you've thought it through more than they ever would. So to do a quick summary, what is conversion? Conversion is a transformation. It's movement, and as Albert Einstein said, nothing happens until something moves. There are suspects, prospects, buyers, and multi-buyers for you to consider. Those are the conversions you want to go from one to the next. Why is conversion important? Without it, your business fails because your business is no longer moving. You need prospects to get customers and buyers. You need suspects to get prospects. You need buyers to get multi-buyers, right? What are the 4 conversion opportunities? Well, right message to right market, wrong message to right market, right direction, right message to wrong market, and wrong message to wrong market. Now, if there's any confusion or if I went too fast, go back to the recording. That's why we did it. And then check out the conversation I had about hamburger stands, so you can go back and review. The 3 conversion traps. If you don't know who these folks are, then you're going to be speaking to them in the wrong way. Your cold market can't be spoken to the same way your warm market is spoken to, and your hot market can't be spoken to the same way your cold and warm markets can't be spoken to. So understand the difference between the 3 and speak to them accordingly. In the 2 conversion strategies, you have a 1 step, which is buy now or click now or whatever it is now, and then you have the multi-step. And as far as getting buyers, multi-step always works. As far as getting prospects, 1 step will work often because it's not a lot involved. I will tell you, and people ask me this all the time, Alex, shall I ask for the email address and the name or just the email address? If you're going for the opt-in, I recommend, based on my tests and my markets, it's always the email address only, not the name. If you want to get fewer responses, add another field and ask for the first name. All right, we're going to go to another survey, and as this survey is going to be based on which of the 4 distinctions do you think you are? And
Okay, well, this happens from time to time. So Alex just got bumped off. He'll probably be right back. I'm just going to make sure he has the direct link. And in the meantime, so yeah, he's got the poll going. There he is. Welcome back.
Thank you. I don't know what happened, but here I am. All right, cool. All right, so we got the poll up, yes?
Yes, and your lower third when you get a chance.
All right, I'm going to do the lower third now. See, it's not the end of the world. It's just the beginning of a new era when something goes wrong. So I got kicked out. And here we go with the poll. So which of these 4 professional designations describe you best? Are you a coach or consultant? That's business to business. Are you an author or speaker? Business to business or business to consumer? You know, the end person or the person in between, business to business, what are you? Are you a service professional? That's B2C. You could be an accountant. You could be a chiropractor, a dentist. That's a service professional, B2C. Are you an entrepreneur? You do both, B2C or none of the above. So as the votes are coming in, if you're reading this, watching this, or listening, thank you for your patience as you're experiencing this hangout. And I will tell you right now, we have head-to-head 34% coach consultant, 34% entrepreneur. So it's head-to-head. About 10% are authors and speakers, and 5% are none of the above. So good job. You know, thank you for your vote. Now we got, now we've just shifted 40% entrepreneur, 40% entrepreneur, and coaches and consultants are 27%. So between coach, consultant, and entrepreneur, you're kind of wavering, and you're going about 70% of this group. So that's good because those are the 2 groups who are not very good at conversion. Why? Don't know why. I think it's because they work in their business more than they work on their business. But this was made exclusively for you if you are an entrepreneur, you know, starting a business. Usually an entrepreneur is product-centered or service-centered. I got to have a world-class product. They're never market-centered. Like, hey, what's my ideal target audience? Let me survey them first, like I'm doing with you, and then let me create a product around that. Let me name the company first, they think, and then I'll create a unique selling proposition. Well, how about creating a unique selling proposition first and then building the company around that? That is being market-centered. So I'm hoping that conversion makes sense to you. On behalf of my team at Marketing Online, I'm Alex Mondosian. Can't wait for our paths to cross again soon. Okay, so that's that. That is the formal section. See, now we're about 44 minutes into the session. If it's your first time, welcome. And I'm going to have you come in here. Sue is going to, if you want the Alexisms book, by the way, simply go to alexismsbook.com. Sue will type that in to the chat, and you can see it there. Many of you already have it. And we will allow you into the session. So I'll let Sue do that. Sue just typed in Alexism's book. It's all yours. You can get the soft copy if you like, the soft cover or a hardcover copy, but you can get it for free as a download. So check it out. And then the link that she just gave you, that's the link to ask me any questions on the topic of conversion. So come on in and make sure you mute the hangout that's happening on the outside, because you'll be coming in with 2 browsers. And thank you, all of you who are saying thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome, Maya. Cool. So come on in. Don't be shy. You can ask any question that you want. Well, you should have seen me yesterday.
6 months.
I had like a fever. So if you want it, you can go there. It's a special link. The horizontal, crazy to other people. Now marketingonline.com/W.
I have like braces
All
against
right.
my hips just to keep me
Let's
up.
go
You don't know
to
that.
Prakash. Thank you. You're
I
welcome.
have Jim
Thomas,
and Jack.
thank you. I just and Jim and
I
Jack.
hope you like
So
the
who do I
polling
have there? Part of
That's
this.
me, Jim and Jackie.
did.
Jim's upstairs,
If
but
you
I'm
want 6
here.
months of
Okay,
webinar
Jackie,
jam,
put your
you can go to
question. Great background. I love it.
Thank
marketingonline.com/.
you. I like that.
WJ.
Like the painting right there. So-
I like the one on the other side, too.
marketingonline.com/W.
Oh, this one. I drew that.
I love
That's
it.
6 months of
Let's see. My question, Alex, is
webinar jam.
for
For free.
entrepreneurs.
Well, actually
you
for
said,
$1.
you know, we're
It'll
more
cost you
product-centered,
$1.
right?
Sorry.
And we
So 6 months usually. So if you want it,
Okay,
you can
and-
go there.
and,
It's a special
what
link.
are one
Don't
of
give
the
it out to other people.
best ways
marketingonline.com/.
to reach business to
WJ.
business. For example,
All right.
we know
Let's go
some
to,
CEOs, and we're into helping them to
I have
create,
Jim and Jack.
either
I just see
their,
Jim and
their
Jack.
books.
So who do I have there?
Or their, that's me,
some
Jim and
kind
Jack,
of a
Jim's
product that they
upstairs,
want,
but I'm
online
here.
course.
Okay, Jackie, what's your question? Great background. I love it.
Thank you.
So if
I
you were
like
to say
that. Like the
at
painting
C
right
level
there?
or CEO,
I like the one on the
right?
other side too.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, this one, I
So,
drew that.
Where
I
do
love it.
CEOs congregate?
Let's see, my
So,
question, Alex, is
CEOs congregate
for
at
entrepreneurs,
physical
you said,
events or trade
more
shows.
product centered, right?
So speak
And-
at those trade shows. They congregate
Okay, and-
reading
and,
trade magazines.
What are one of the best ways
if
to,
it's not within a
let's say,
particular niche,
reach
then,
business to business?
put an
For
ad
example,
or write an editorial
We
piece
know
in
some
that magazine.
CEOs, and we're
Um,
into
You
helping
want to
them
get
to
in
create,
front of them with
either
editorial
their,
content.
their
Now,
books
a
or
great way to
their,
do it, and I've done this. I
some,
did this
some
with
kind
Steve
of a
Jobs.
product
I
that
did
they
it
want,
with
like an online course that they
Clinton.
just want to.
I've done it with Larry King. It worked.
An online course.
What
So
I did
if
is
you were to
I
say
would do
an
C-level
shock
or
and
CEOs, right? Mailing to
Correct.
them. So let's say
So
you know the where do CEOs congregate? And you send them on
So
one day. CEOs
100
congregate
postcards.
at physical events or
All
trade
in one
shows.
day.
So
And,
speak
that's
at
gonna
those
get their
trade
attention,
shows.
right?
They congregate
Now, what's it gonna
reading
cost you?
trade magazines.
Well, in
If,
the day,
if it's not within a particular niche,
to send 100
then
postcards, less actually.
put an ad
it's in
or
color.
write an
And the
editorial
postcard,
piece in
what I
that
did is I
magazine.
purchased a URL. This
You
was
want to
in
get in front of
2002
them with editorial content. Now, a great way to do it, and
And the
I've
back
done
of the
this, I
postcard
did this
said,
with Steve Jobs. I did
I've been
it
trying to
with
reach you.
Clinton.
I have
I've done
a
it with
2-minute
Larry
message
King.
at
It
AskSteveJobs.com.
worked.
Please go there.
What I
and,
did is
let me
I
know
would
whether
do
you're
a
disinterested
shock and
or
awe
if you'd like
mailing
to go
to
to the
them.
next step.
So let's say
So now I
you
got
know
their
the
attention.
CEO,
Now, is that a one-step or is that a
and
multi-step?
you send them
It's multi-step.
on one day. Is
100
he
postcards.
cold or is he warm or is he hot?
All
He's
in one
cold.
day. Now,
And
if I
that's
got to
gonna
get their
referral,
attention, right?
then
Now,
that's
what's it going to
warm.
cost you?
So I
well,
would
in the
approach
United
that
States,
person
differently. I
CEOs
wouldn't
here,
send
it's
100
gonna cost about
postcards and such and such
to send
referred me.
100 postcards.
I would make
Less,
a call.
actually.
And it's
If
in
he's
color.
hot,
And the
like for me,
postcard, what I did is
let me
I
show you.
purchased a URL.
Let me see
this
if you
was
can
in
see this.
2002.
That's Muhammad Ali.
I'm there with Muhammad Ali.
AskSteveJobs.com.
And
the
Muhammad
back of the
Ali
postcard
and I
said,
got to sit in
I've been
his
trying to
house
reach you.
because
I have a 2-minute
of
message
a
at
group I put together with
AskSteveJobs.com.
Harvey McKay.
Please go there
He's a
and
best-selling author, and
let me
that's the
know whether
mastermind he
you're
and I put
disinterested
together. Now,
or
Harvey's
if you'd
sitting
like
right
to
next
go
to
the
Muhammad
next step.
on the
So
right
now I
side,
got
if
their
you could see
attention.
him.
Now, is that a
Right?
one-step or is that
Okay,
a
now,
multi-step?
How did I get there?
multi-step,
Well, I
right?
went from cold to warm
Is he
to hot.
cold or is he warm
did
or is
it,
he hot? He's
You know,
cold.
through referral. I have another
Now,
one with Larry
if I got a
King.
referral,
Now, it depends
then
on,
that's warm.
on how you're going to
So I would approach them.
that
So
person.
you're saying, how
differently.
do I
wouldn't send
approach
100
CEOs?
postcards
Well,
and such and
just reach
such
out to
referred me.
CEOs.
I would make a call.
I'm sure
if he's
you
hot,
know, a
like for
hot
me,
CEO,
someone you know,
let me show you,
who's a CEO who plays golf with someone
let me see
else,
if you can
who
see
bowls
this.
with
That's
someone else,
Muhammad
who goes to
Ali.
the same club
I'm-
as someone else.
That's a hot CEO. There's one way. I'm sure you know a warm CEO who's on your prospect list, and you can reach out to them, either get a referral or get them into a strategy session to convey what you want to approach them with. And that's a lot easier proposition to get them into the buyer category. And then the rest of the world are cold CEOs, and they require more time, more money, right? And that's where most people start, is with suspects. But if you just start small, then you create the funnel and the client path to get them. You know, you want to reverse engineer it. Start with the hot one and see how they went from cold, warm, hot, because you're doing something right. You have at least one person there. And then go to the warm, then the cold, not the other way around. The question you asked me is, how do I go to cold first? I'm happy to answer, and I did, but it's a longer process, and people find that there's more trouble and struggle. Now, it's very clever to do the postcard thing or to get in a magazine or a trade show. You know, another way is to write a full-page ad that you didn't even place in a magazine and put a Post-it note on it, and the Post-it note says, I think you should look at this because you're CEO, and then title, say /J. Okay, who's J? Well, it's just a common letter, right? So it's coming from someone. They read the ad. There's a Post-it note on top. That's another technique to get attention, to get interest, to create desire. So that is all expensive. Why not spend better dollars with your time in going after hot, warm, and then cold? But all three are feasible if you know the conversion process. Really, the point of this presentation was to show you that every problem in business is a conversion problem, and your job is to diagnose which conversion is the troublesome part of your business and then start working on that part. That makes sense, Jackie?
Yes, it does. Thank you so very much, Alex. And we are definitely getting the referrals from those who already have done business with us. So this is such a confirmation. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, sir.
You're welcome. And with prospects, get them into a strategy session. Get them into a session where you can do a survey and get to know what their challenges are so that now you can go to the cold prospect.
Fabulous. Thanks so much, sir. That's it, sir.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right, Kathleen, I can't see you, but if you can unmute yourself, I will talk to you. Let's see if you can do that. All right, Kathleen. Oh, we lost her. Okay, Leah, I can see you, and if you can unmute yourself, let's see if we can get you on.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, there's no echo. That's perfect. You're awesome.
Okay. You mentioned lead generation. As a brand new online business, just starting off with my first lead magnet, my question would be some sort of strategy or marketing calendar. When you have never done this, what would you suggest?
Okay, so you have a lead magnet, but who's your target audience?
People with digestive problems.
Okay.
That's maybe not tight enough of a niche.
Well, no, I think
I'm-
it's tight enough. I think it's tight enough. See, when you say lead magnet, I go, uh-oh, because that's a message. When you say someone with a digestive problem, then that's a market, and that's the person who's going to take action. A message doesn't take action. A message costs you money. A market makes you money. So I like you to be market-centered. So digestive problems, that's good. Male, female, does it matter?
That doesn't matter.
Okay, age?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. And what could be causing the digestive problem?
It could be food sensitivities. There's many things that can cause digestive problems.
Yeah, but I mean, if you were to say, let's pare it down to 5 things, could you rattle them off? So if you have digestive problems due to this and that and this and that and this, then take a close
Okay.
look. That's like
That,
a
that they might not know because certain bacteria and stuff like that they might not know. But symptoms they would know, like bloating, heartburn, even unexplained fatigue, those kind of symptoms.
Okay, so
They
good.
would know.
So symptoms is how you want to lead with your lead magnet. So if you have unexplainable bloating or fatigue when you think you're supposed to be having more energy, or a third symptom, then you may be misdiagnosed. You may have a digestive problem, and get this lead magnet in order to, right?
Okay.
So how do you do that? That could be a hangout like I'm doing right now that you could put on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. It could be a Facebook ad that you bought $10 or $20 worth of advertising per day. That's a business to consumer type of ad, right? And so you could get leads that way. The lead magnet should be free, and it should be something that leads them to a product that you're selling. So my next question is, what's the service or product that you're ultimately selling?
Actually, the lead magnet I'm using is the 3-step gut repair guide, and I'm leading them to a discovery session because everybody's issue is from a different cause. And I'm selling them on my 90-day program that's individually created, very specific for each individual.
Okay, so from lead magnet to discovery session to unique customized program, yes?
Yes.
Okay, very viable, very viable. So if you can start looking for bloggers where you can be a guest blogger for anyone dealing with digestion or health, Mercola.com, Joe's a friend of mine. You can't always start big, but if you can go to some blogs and say, hey, I want to save you some time. Can I give you a few articles? Or if you can get on some web TV or web radio shows, right? If you can be a guest on a podcast, then what you're doing is you are borrowing authority from that guest that's costing you nothing. And as long as you've earned the right to discuss this, I'm not asking about your credentials because we don't have time, but assuming you have earned the right to talk about this, then those are the fastest and easiest ways to get out there. And you say the same thing again and again and again, even when you're bored and tired of it, because you're not speaking to a parade that's moving. You're not speaking to a grandstand that's standing still that gets tired of the message. You are speaking to a parade that's constantly moving. So your message stays the same speech, but you're always going after different target audiences.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. I have my web TV certification course through you and Sue. Thank you.
Awesome.
Would that be a good way to also try to get traction? Should I have my own web TV show?
That's why I thought you did it. Yeah. You
I
have
did.
your own, have your own web TV show in that niche, and your show could be 10 to 20 minutes, just a commute. Because here's what I know about digestion. People don't really think about it, but I've had it 3 times in my life, and I would, if you told me, shoot me with a gun or suffer with this condition, I would have chosen the gun 3 out of 3 times, and that was food poisoning. Okay, I've had it 3 times in my life. It deals with digestion. I don't think people appreciate how important digestion is with weight loss, with water retention, with fatigue, with all these other symptoms that come out. And no one really even talks about it. So it's your turn to make digestion, a big deal. And we're not make a real big deal out of it. Forget 5 digestive problems, because when it comes down to it, how many feet does food have to travel through? And if it doesn't do it properly, we got a problem. And most of America and the rest of the world have problems there. So I think you have a wide open opportunity to have your own web TV show. I don't think it's too narrow or too wide. I think it's just right. Just give it a shot.
Okay, now marketing calendar. How often? You said 10, 15 minutes. How often?
Weekly.
Okay. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, listen, if you have, let's say, 12 weeks of content, there's your book. 12 chapters, 12 weeks. So think of it in that terms, okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, let's go for How. H-A-U. See if you can unmute yourself. You got time for one more question. There you go. Try it again. You just muted
okay.
yourself
Can you hear
again.
me?
Try to unmute one more time. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, yes, I heard it. First, it's
Welcome.
my first time I come here. So thank you very much, Alex. I just met you in Malaysia.
Yeah, isn't this
Kuala
great?
Lumpur.
Now we're here 10,000 miles away, right?
GBI, yes. yes, it's very amazing. Yes. Actually, I don't have any question right
Okay.
now.
That's okay. I'm glad you made it here. Now, this is a great example. So he was at a stage presentation where he saw me for 5 days. My voice was gone, so my voice is back now. And, many people who are on stage and they get to know, like, and trust their audience, once they leave the stage, they're now a memory. There's no interaction. But this is the power of virtual presentation, that you can still be in the know, like, and trust scenario. This situation hasn't changed. Now, there's still a connection here, even though we're thousands of miles away, just through the miracle of the internet and web presentation, which we take for granted that we can do this. So thank you for joining us, especially those of you from Guerrilla Business Intensive and the rest of you from all over the world. I know you've come from all over. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome, and gals. And Sue, thank you for producing this one more time. Sumya, I know that you're here. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to show your face. Thank you for coming on board, and I'm going to say good day, and I hope our paths cross again next week. All good wishes. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
See you guys.